Good morning, family. Let me tell you something powerful today. Every morning is a blessing from God. Not some mornings. Not just the mornings when the sun is shining, your bank account looks good, or the people around you are cheering. I'm talking about every morning. Every morning is a gift of grace, not entitlement. This truth, when fully grasped, can radically transform the way we approach our lives. Too often, we live as if the next day is guaranteed, as if waking up in the morning is some automatic function of our biology. We set alarms and make plans, assuming that time will unfold the way we expect. But the reality is, waking up is not a right. It's a privilege and act of divine grace. It's God's way of saying, I'm not done with you yet. And that means every morning we open our eyes is a moment loaded with potential, with purpose, and with the undeserved kindness of our Creator. We live in a world that teaches us to take things for granted. From our health to our time to the very breath in our lungs, we often overlook the miraculous in the midst of the mundane. But grace is never mundane. Grace is God doing for us what we could never do for ourselves. You didn't earn this morning by working overtime last night. You didn't secure another sunrise because you behaved well yesterday. No, this morning is here because God, in His mercy, chose to give it to you. And if He gave it to you, there's a reason for it. That's the problem with entitlement. It blinds us to the blessing. When we believe we're owed something, we stop seeing it as a gift. We stop being thankful and we start demanding. But God is not obligated to give us another day. There are people who went to sleep last night with plans, dreams, and goals for today, but they didn't wake up. That should not scare us, but it should sober us. It should shift our attitude from complaint to gratitude, from laziness to purpose. When you realize that today is a gift, it changes how you spend it. You stop wasting time on things that drain your spirit and delay your destiny. You stop treating your life like it's on autopilot. You become intentional. You begin to steward your time, your energy, your relationships, and your opportunities with care. Why? Because you understand that you're living on grace, not guarantees. God's grace is not just about forgiveness of sin. It's also about the power and privilege to live. That breath you just took, grace. The ability to get up and walk, to speak, to think clearly, all grace. And yet we act as if these things are standard, as if they are built in features of human life. But the truth is, nothing about life is promised. Everything is given. And it's only when we see life this way that we begin to live with the right perspective. You don't earn grace by being perfect. Grace is unmerited favor. You don't qualify for grace by checking off spiritual boxes. Grace is a gift freely given. That means this morning was handed to you without a receipt. No conditions, no payments due. But just because something is free doesn't mean it's cheap. This morning cost something. It cost the blood of Christ. It cost the patience and love of a God who has seen you fall short time and time again and still chose to wake you up one more time. Think about that. Think about all the mistakes you made yesterday. All the thoughts you entertained that didn't align with God's will. All the times you chose comfort over calling, fear over faith, distraction over discipline. And yet here you are, alive, breathing, able to try again. That's not something you earned. That's grace. When you stop viewing your morning as something automatic and start seeing it as something divine, your entire mindset shifts. You start to ask, what am I supposed to do with this day? Not, how can I get through it? You start to move with purpose, talk with power, and live with conviction. Because now, you're no longer surviving mornings. You're stewarding them. Grace doesn't remove responsibility. It increases it. Because when you realize God gave you this day out of love, the only appropriate response is to love Him back with how you live it. That means waking up with gratitude in your heart and urgency in your steps. It means refusing to let complaining rob you of the beauty of now. It means understanding that grace is not just a covering, it's an invitation to do better, to be better, to grow, to give, to serve, and to walk boldly in the reason you were given this moment. Waking up is a sign that God still has a purpose for you. It's not just the start of another routine day. It's a divine confirmation that your assignment on this earth is not yet complete. When God allows you to see the light of a new day, He is essentially saying, I'm not through with you. Your purpose is still in motion. Your impact is still unfolding. The fact that you're alive right now means there's something specific, something powerful, something meaningful that you are still meant to do. Too many people treat waking up like it's just a biological event. Heart beats, lungs expand, eyes open, and we go on like it's just science doing its job. But the spiritual reality is far deeper. Every time you rise in the morning, it's a spiritual vote of confidence from the Creator Himself. God is all-knowing. If He had no more need for your presence in this world, you wouldn't be here. So the very fact that you are here right now, reading these words, breathing this air, moving through this life, is undeniable proof that heaven still has work assigned to your hands. Purpose doesn't always look dramatic. It doesn't always come with a title, a stage, or applause. Sometimes purpose is wrapped in everyday obedience, doing the right thing, loving the people around you, showing up when it would be easier to quit. But don't confuse simplicity with insignificance. God doesn't need something to be loud to make it important. That conversation you're avoiding, that dream you've been delaying, that small act of kindness you've been putting off, those may be the very things tied to your purpose. And if God woke you up, then He's giving you one more opportunity to step into it. There are people who feel lost because they think they've missed their purpose. But purpose isn't a one-time event. It's a process. It's unfolding daily. It grows as you grow. It expands as you mature. So waking up doesn't just mean God has a purpose for you. It means He's still developing that purpose inside you. That means you haven't missed your window. As long as there's breath in your body, there's still time. As long as your heart is beating, your calling is still alive. Sometimes life's challenges can make you question your purpose. Pain, loss, failure, rejection. Those things can cloud your vision. But listen, purpose doesn't disappear just because it gets hard to see. God's plan for you is not fragile. It doesn't break when your plans fall apart. In fact, sometimes your greatest clarity comes after your greatest chaos. The very trial you're going through may be the training ground for the purpose God placed inside you. So when you wake up in the morning, even in the middle of your struggle, remember this: God still has you here because He's still writing your story. You might not feel qualified. You might not feel ready. But God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. If He gave you another day, He's also given you what you need to take the next step. That might not mean you have everything figured out, but it does mean that you have what it takes to move forward. Even if it's one small step of faith, even if it's just saying yes to trying again. We often think purpose is tied to productivity, but purpose is tied to obedience. It's not about how much you get done. It's about whether you're doing what you were meant to do. Whether that means serving your family, building a business, encouraging a friend, or simply showing up with integrity in a dark world. Every day you wake up, you're being handed the tools to live that out. Don't wait for a sign. Waking up is the sign. It's the proof that you matter, that you're needed, that you're still part of the plan. Let that truth sink in. Let it shape your mindset. Because when you understand that your existence is tied to divine purpose, you stop living passively. You start living intentionally. And that's when everything begins to change. Treat each day as a divine opportunity, not an obligation. The moment you shift your mindset from I have to I get to, everything about your life begins to elevate. Too many people wake up in the morning already burdened by the weight of the day ahead: work, stress, responsibility, problems. They move through their schedule as if it's a punishment. But when you realize that this day, this moment, is not just a box on a calendar, but a sacred opportunity given by God, then your attitude shifts. You begin to see time as holy. You start treating every hour, every task, every conversation as part of a divine assignment. God doesn't waste time. So if he gave you today, then today has value. That value is not found in just getting through the day. It's found in what you do with the day. Every day you're alive is a day you could create something, serve someone, grow your character, build your faith, or take one step closer to the vision God placed in your heart. That's not an obligation. That's an honor. That's not a burden. That's a blessing. When you treat your day like an obligation, you wake up already defeated. Your heart is heavy. Your energy is low. You go through the motions instead of walking with meaning. That's not how you were designed to live. You were created in the image of a purposeful God, and that means you are wired to live with direction and intention. You are not a machine built to repeat the same cycle endlessly. You are a vessel built to carry purpose through time. Every day is a chance to do just that. Divine opportunity doesn't always come wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it comes disguised as hard work, as difficult people, or as inconvenient tasks. But opportunity is still opportunity, even when it's uncomfortable. You might be walking through a season that feels heavy, but that doesn't mean the day is empty. That day may be the one that strengthens your endurance, expands your wisdom, or deepens your faith. Don't let the difficulty of the blind you to the opportunity within it. If you're alive today, there is something in this day that is part of your development. Something you can do that matters. Someone you can bless. A decision you can make that shifts your future. You're not here to waste time or just pass time. You're here to redeem the time. The word says we should number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. That means we treat our days as valuable. We don't coast through them. We engage. We invest. You might not know all the steps ahead, but God does. He's not asking you to master every part of the plan. He's asking you to be faithful with today, faithful with what's in front of you, faithful with the small tasks, faithful with your attitude, faithful with your gifts, because divine opportunity isn't always dramatic. Most of the time, it looks like normal moments pregnant with eternal potential. You are surrounded by people, by ideas, by choices, by moments that can shift your life if you see them correctly. But if you see today as just another day, you'll treat it casually. You'll delay, procrastinate, complain. And every time you do, you miss something God wanted to give you or do through you. This is not just another Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. This is the very day that the Lord has made. And when you live with that mindset, even the mundane becomes meaningful. Even the routine becomes divine. Because you stop dragging yourself through time. You start partnering with it. You don't need to know the outcome of every opportunity to value the opportunity itself. When God gives you a day, he gives you a platform to move in your purpose, to glorify him, to serve others, and to become who you were created to be. The day is not a wait, it's a window into what could be. If you dare to believe that the divine is at work in the details of your life. A gratitude must lead to intentional action. It's not enough to simply feel thankful. You must live like you're thankful. Too many people talk about being blessed, but their lives don't reflect the mindset of someone who recognizes the weight and responsibility of that blessing. Gratitude isn't just an emotion. It's a posture, a decision, and a daily discipline. When you truly understand the value of what you've been given, another day, another breath, another opportunity, you stop taking it lightly. You begin to steward your time, your talents, and your relationships with purpose. Saying thank you is good, but it's only the beginning. True gratitude shows up in how you manage your day, how you treat others, how you pursue your calling, and how you handle adversity. If you're truly grateful for life, then you don't let procrastination rob you of progress. You don't let fear paralyze you. You don't let laziness dictate your actions. Gratitude and passivity cannot coexist. When you understand that what you have is grace, you won't waste it on excuses. There's a difference between appreciating something and honoring it. Gratitude honors the gift by how it's used. If God gave you today, then you honor him by making it count. That doesn't mean overloading your schedule or performing for people. It means moving with intention. It means waking up and asking, what am I supposed to do with this time? It means looking for ways to grow, to give, to build, and to bless. Not because you're trying to earn something, but because you've already received something. And you recognize the weight of that. Gratitude that doesn't move you to action is incomplete. It becomes a feel-good statement rather than a transformational force. If you say you're grateful for your health, then take care of your body. If you say you're grateful for your time, then stop wasting it on distractions. If you say you're grateful for your opportunities, then take bold steps instead of sitting in fear. Gratitude shifts your decisions, your energy, your goals, and your daily discipline. We often ask God for more time, more favor, more doors, more resources. But why would God give more to someone who mismanages what they already have? Gratitude multiplies what you already have by unlocking your willingness to use it wisely. When you're grateful, you start seeing things differently. That small platform, it becomes a stage to serve. That difficult season, it becomes a training ground. That quiet moment, it becomes an invitation to listen and realign. That's what happens when your gratitude isn't just felt, it's lived. Intentional action doesn't always mean doing something grand. It means showing up consistently and faithfully in the space you've been placed. It means being present in your relationships. It means handling your responsibilities with care. It means investing in your growth. And it means refusing to sleepwalk through life just because things feel ordinary. Nothing is ordinary when you're living in grace. Every moment matters when you're aware that you don't deserve any of it. Gratitude without action is like faith without works. It's dead. It may sound nice, but it won't produce fruit. The people who live the most powerful lives aren't the ones who have the most. They're the ones who make the most out of what they have. And the bridge between gratitude and growth is always intentionality. What you do with what you've been given determines what you become. That's why gratitude can't just live in your heart. It has to show up in your habits. If God gave you this day, then he's trusting you with it. Trust demands more than words. It demands stewardship. So don't just be thankful in theory. Be thankful in how you think, how you speak, how you plan, and how you move. Let your life be the evidence of your gratitude. Because when your actions match your thankfulness, you become a vessel God can use, bless, and elevate. Challenges don't cancel your calling. They confirm it. When adversity shows up in your life, it's not a sign that you're off track. It's often proof that you're walking in the right direction. The presence of resistance usually means you're moving towards something worth reaching. Too many people mistake difficulty for disqualification. They think if it's hard, it must not be God. But the truth is, if you're facing pressure, it may be because your purpose is pressing forward. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't a threat. So when challenges come, don't retreat. Recognize what's at stake. Your calling is not fragile. It was forged in the mind of God before you were even born. It's not based on your convenience, comfort, or circumstances. It's anchored in something eternal. So when trouble arises, your job isn't to question the calling. It's to lean into it. Obstacles don't mean you're on the wrong path. They often mean you're on sacred ground. That storm in your life not be punishment. It might be preparation. God is not trying to break you. He's building the strength you'll need to carry the next level of your assignment. Think about every person who's ever done something meaningful. Every leader, every builder, every visionary. They didn't become who they were in comfort. They were shaped in pressure, in disappointment, in resistance. David was called to be king, but before he sat on a throne, he had to run from Saul. Joseph had a dream of leadership, but before he ruled in Egypt, he was betrayed, sold, and imprisoned. The pattern is consistent. God allows challenges not to cancel your purpose, but to prepare you to carry it with maturity. Challenges don't shrink your purpose. They stretch your capacity. They train you to pray differently, lead differently, think differently. They pull out strength you didn't know you had. And once you've overcome what tried to break you, you carry a different kind of authority. Not just because you made it through, but because you understand what it cost. And with that understanding, your influence deepens. Your voice gains weight. Your steps become more strategic. If you never faced a challenge, you'd never need faith. But your calling requires faith, so God allows tension to activate what's inside you. It's easy to believe when everything's smooth, but true belief is forged in the fire. When you continue walking even when it hurts, when you speak life even in dry places, when you keep building even after setbacks, that's when your calling becomes more than a concept. It becomes your lifestyle. Don't let challenges fool you into thinking you're off track. The enemy's job is to discourage, delay, distract, and divide. And one of his favorite lies is that your pain disqualifies you. But if pain could cancel purpose, the cross would have no power. Instead, it's the suffering that paved the way for the resurrection. And that same principle applies to your life. What you're going through isn't a detour. It's part of your development. So when things get hard, don't just ask, why me? Ask, what is this shaping in me? Don't just pray for the storm to pass. Pray to learn how to walk through it with wisdom and strength. Because once you realize the challenge is confirmation, not condemnation, you start walking differently. You stop shrinking when things go wrong. You stop doubting the promise when pressure hits. You start understanding that the greater the call, the greater the preparation. And if you're being prepared, it means something is coming, something you haven't seen yet, something that requires a deeper level of faith, focus, and endurance. So let the challenge confirm you. Let it refine you. Let it reveal who you really are and what you're really made of. Because your calling isn't up for negotiation. It was stamped on your life by God himself, and no challenge can undo what he already declared over you. You don't need a perfect situation to have a powerful day. Too many people wait for everything to line up before they show up fully. They tell themselves, when I feel better, when I have more money, when people support me, a thing they'll act, build, serve, or lead. But life doesn't work like that. Most blessings don't come after perfection. They come in the middle of pressure, imperfection, and uncertainty. If you're waiting for everything to be ideal before you take action, you'll waste the gift of the present moment. God didn't ask you to be perfect. He asked you to be faithful. A powerful day isn't defined by how easy it is. It's defined by how intentional you are. You can be surrounded by mess and still operate in mastery. You can be under pressure and still walk in peace. You can face resistance and still choose progress. The situation around you doesn't control the power within you. The Holy Spirit doesn't wait for quiet, perfect circumstances to move. He shows up in the chaos, in the uncertainty, in the tension, and he equips you in real time. When you treat the day like a gift, you stop looking for reasons to hold back. You stop measuring what's missing and start maximizing what's in your hands. Maybe everything isn't where you want it to be. Maybe you still have healing to do, battles to fight, mountains to climb. But that doesn't mean today is powerless. Today still carries purpose. Today still carries divine potential. The question is to you, will you activate it? You don't need to have every answer to make a bold move. You don't need every resource to begin. Power shows up when faith is activated. And faith is not waiting. It's walking. It's stepping into the unknown with confidence, knowing that God is with you even when the plan isn't clear. That's how power is released. Not when the conditions are right, but when your obedience is real. There are people who are waiting for circumstances to shift before they give God their full yes. But God often shifts your circumstances after your obedience, not before. Move in faith. You want clarity. Start walking. You want impact. Show up before you feel ready. Power is not passive. It's active. And it often shows up in unexpected places, through unexpected people, at expected times. If you judge your day by what's wrong, you'll miss what's possible. You might feel like you're not enough for the assignment in front of you. But your power doesn't come from your perfection. It comes from the one who empowers you. His strength is made perfect in your weakness. That means the cracks in your life don't disqualify you. They're actually where his glory shines through. So instead of hiding your imperfections, surrender them. Let God turn your mess into your message. Let him turn your struggle into strategy. A powerful day isn't about controlling the external. It's about aligning the internal. When your spirit is grounded, your actions become intentional. When your mind is focused, your steps become effective. When your heart is submitted to purpose, your words carry weight. And none of that requires a perfect setting. It just requires a decision to show up with what you have, trust God to multiply it, and believe that today matters, regardless of how it looks. So stop postponing your progress. Stop waiting for the stars to align. You already have what you need to make today powerful. Not because everything is perfect, but because you were chosen for this moment. That alone is proof that power is already in motion. Every morning is not just another sunrise. It's a sacred signal that your life still carries weight, that your purpose is still unfolding, and that heaven still has work for you to do. Don't waste the gift of today waiting for tomorrow to be better. Don't live another day asleep in your spirit while you're awake in your body. God didn't breathe life into you for you to live passively, aimlessly, or fearfully. He woke you up because you're necessary. You matter. You carry answers. And your obedience in this moment could be the key to someone else's breakthrough. So rise with conviction, walk with clarity, move with courage, because every breath you take is proof that God hasn't given up on you. So don't you dare give up on yourself.